Yo, what's up guys, it's Tom. Welcome back to a brand new episode of my MotoGP 17 Rider Career Mode here for the Moto2 class, and today we're racing around the Sachsenring and BRNO, so the German Grand Prix and the Czech Republic Grand Prix in today's episode. And I hope you guys are looking forward to it. If you haven't missed the previous episodes and the story so far since the beginning in Moto3, then I do urge you to go check out the playlist in the description down below. But nevertheless, we're here in Sachsenring, a track that I really enjoy, and then obviously moving over to BRNO, which I absolutely dominated in Season 1. So it promises to be a pretty decent episode and two tracks I'm fairly competitive at. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the German Grand Prix for qualifying. Right, qualifying at the Sachsenring. Hopefully we can try and get a good result here. This was a track that we did do pretty well in last season, so hopefully we can try and do the same thing again. Obviously the Moto2 is a different kettle of fish and a completely different beast when it comes to riding this particular circuit, so I'm going to have to get used to it first and try and build my way up to speed, but hopefully we can have a good qualifying session. So far so good as I come towards the end of my first lap. I'm fastest in the third sector. The bikes perform beautifully, but I've had a little bit of traffic here with Simone Corsi as we come across the line with 7 tenths down, but it's looking promising here, and I think we can try and do some serious damage here and try and fight pole position. Okay, the second lap's much better. I'm half a second up in the third sector. I gain a whole second in the third sector because I was half a second down in the second, but the third one I'm just so good in that I gain so much time. But here we go through the final corner this time, no traffic. Miss my apex slightly through the final corner, across the line, 2 tenths down. I reckon one more crack at this and I can get pole position if I get a perfect lap. Okay, this time 6 tenths up in the third sector. It's been a really good lap. Just got to try now the final corner this time, try and pick up the apex a little bit more, which I have done. And now I've got the power on the exit of the corner, spinning the rear tyre up a little bit. Across the line, do we get pole? Yes we do, just about. Pole position with 5 minutes to go in the session, and that is going to be it for qualifying here at the Sachsenring. Right, there we go, pole position for the German Grand Prix. Once again, another pole to my tally, and we managed to get about just over half a tenth over Alex Marquez there, so very close qualifying, but we've pulled it out of the bag, and it's going to be first place for the race tomorrow on Sunday.
Everything's ready for the race to start now. We're just waiting for those lights to go out. The riders will take these last few seconds to focus on the race ahead.
Right then, here we go, first place, pole position for the German Grand Prix. 4 red lights, and it's going to be lights out and away we go here. Let's try and get a good start off the line. A little bit of a wobbly one there, but we're still in first place, which is good as we make our way into turn 1. Just turning in a bit late there. Marcus is going to have a look up my inside. Also Luti as well. Going to squat the power and go on the outside. Make the move work. They're going to cut back underneath me though, I think. Through here. I'm running a little bit deep. Now Luti's got past me. I'm going to have to sit behind him for now. I've got a bit of an awkward line going through this section. This track, obviously the shortest one on the calendar, known for its incredible amount of left-handers, which is something you don't often see on a race circuit. But as you can see here, we're going through this constant swooping left-handed corner here, and I'm down a P5 as I've had a pretty poor start to the race here. I need to try and get into a rhythm. Luckily, I shouldn't be making the same mistake as last year, because this time I've got double mediums both on the front and on the rear, whereas last year I tried to risk it on soft tyres, and it was all going well until the last lap of the race when it all went wrong for me. So as you can see now, going to the third sector, this is where I gain my time, because these guys go very slow through here. Look at the speed I get. I just get such a big amount of momentum as we go now towards the waterfall for the first time this race, up into P3, and good progress so far. We've got Luti battling out, Baldassari and Oliveira, they're making the move up the inside at that penultimate corner. I'm going to pick up the attraction here, get a nice run on these guys. Can we possibly go on the brakes into the final corner? Not quite. Oliveira's running in a bit deep though. I'm going to take a much tighter line out onto the curb, and here we go then over the crest to end lap 1 onto the start of lap 2. I've got a good run, big toe. I'm going to pull to the inside. Can I get it on the brakes? My teammates run it in really deep on the brakes there, which is very ballsy to say the least, but I'm going to run it in very tight, nice tight line, nice and shallow. Take a bit of a different line to these guys and try and start picking them off now one by one as we go into sector 2. And here we go, I've got a nice line and run through there this time. So I got the inside of Oliveira. I'm going to get boxed in with Baldassari there. A little bit of contact between everybody, getting the elbows out, but Oliveira's not letting me go here. He's still up my inside. I'm going to have to yield the position there. Think of the bigger picture and try and get him back later on this lap as we got Morbidelli up my inside, making his presence felt. I'm running out a little bit wide into the grass there, a little bit risky, but we're still going. We're still okay. Down to P6 now, but we've got to keep it going here. I think I've got the confidence to make a move on these guys. This is where I'm a bit dangerous. I've got to be careful though, because these guys do go very slow through here. I'm getting caught onto the back of Morbidelli here, upsetting my rhythm quite severely, and that's going to set me back for a little bit. We've got Passini making the move behind, as you can see there. He's trying to make him up my inside. He's going to go for it on the brakes. He's pulled it off. Fair play to him. I'm going to pick up the traction on the exit of the corner, and I'm just going to dive it back up the inside on the brakes if I can, if I've got the confidence, which I have. But Passini's absolutely brilliant on the brakes through there. I've had a great exit though, good exit speed in the KTM bike, and look at that, we just power past Passini there, and we're back up into P6 as we now go onto the start of lap 3 into turn 1 now. Let's try and pull this bike down for the apex and try and make some moves now, because we need to get a move on here. Okay, got a great run on Morbidelli here. We're going to wait for the moment, make a move on him possibly as we get a nice little switchback line through there. I'm going to keep it nice and tight on the inside. Take the inside line over the crest, make sure we don't fall off the bike. Past Oliveira possibly. Going to pick up the traction a bit better than him as we now go towards the waterfall, back up into P3. Getting a nice run down the hill here behind Alex Marquez. Going to slow it down now for the prominent corner. Luti's getting the gap out up in front, so we've got to be careful for him. But so far it's been a good lap. Nice progress, making up a few places. And now we've got to try and get past Marquez, like I said, as we go into the final corner. I feel like I'm going to get squeezed out here by my teammate if I'm not careful. Nice bit of traction on the exit. I'm going to sit in the toe of my teammate Oliveira. Fastest lap from me of the race. So here we go then, making our way into turn 1. I'm going to just follow my teammate through because I feel like he's got some pretty good pace here as he's getting the front a little bit slowly down here. I'm going to get a good exit, a little bit of contact between the two of us here. That's going to offset him slightly balance wise. I'm going to set him up for a move as I cut back underneath him in this right hander here. I'm going to close the door, not let him get the switch back on me, and there we go. Hopefully now we can hold on to P3. I can now chase after the guys up ahead, especially Luti, because Luti's got some pretty damn good pace there. Okay, so we go over the crest. Marquez going a bit slow through there. I'm going to pick up the traction, go around the outside of him, and look at the speed difference there as we now approach the waterfall, flat out through the right hander, and the straight line speed down the hill. Absolutely fantastic to see. Now we've got to slow down for the penultimate corner, pick up a nice tight apex here, and now try not and let Marquez get back past us, and we can actually then focus on Thomas Luti, who's ahead of us here. So I get a bit of a poor run into the final corner, just clipping the curb. That's going to allow Marquez at my inside, which is not ideal, but I picked up some better traction than the Spaniard here as we go onto the pit straight to the lap number 5, and there we go. Hopefully now I can solidify P2 as we break into turn 1 here. Let's try and pick up a braking zone. Marquez is going to go up my inside, but I'm going to swing back underneath him there beautifully. A little bit of a corner cut on the exit, which isn't ideal, but Marquez not letting me go here, which is slightly annoying. I'm going to try and pick him off soon though. Right, let's try again on Marquez here. Let's try and clear him definitively this time as we go on to the start of lap number 6. I've had a great exit out of the final corner. I'm going to pick up a huge toe on the Mark VDS rider, and now we're just going to pull to the inside. Can we get down the brakes into turn 1? Possibly. It's going to be very tight. I've gone for it though. There we go. We made it work, and I'm now up into second place, and this time a nice, simple, clean, easy pass, and now I can try and chase after Thomas Luti. Okay, here we go. We've got the run on Luti. I'm running a bit wild onto the waterfall though. We just cut back across him there. That could have been a very nasty move, but we're right behind the Swiss rider here, and we're starting to get into our dangerous rhythm like we have done in the past few races, where once we get a head down, I'm a little bit hard to catch and I'm a little bit hard to match for pace. But Luti runs a bit hot into the final corner. I'm going to take a much more cleaner, tighter, narrow line. And here we go onto lap 7, the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. Fastest lap from me here, and I'm really putting the pressure on now on Thomas Luti as we go into turn 1 once again this race. Let's try and pick off the Swiss rider here and try and take the lead of the race and try and win it. As we go through turn 2 now, very simple section here. It's about swinging the bike, being very precise, and you know, treating the bike, caressing it through these corners. As you can see there, I've taken a bit of a different line to Luti, nice and tight, and Luti's doing a good job of placing his bike in a good defensive position there. I'm going to still keep it nice and tight on the apex through here and get myself right alongside Luti here. I'm going to go up the inside. Can I pull it off down the hill? It's going to be very tight, a little bit of contact, getting the elbows out, but I've made it work. I'm up into first place, and there we go. That is a big move of the Grand Prix there, and I've re-inherited my starting position finally after 7 laps this race. Okay, through the final couple of corners, I've got the gap out to Luti. The bike has been absolutely fantastic around this circuit, and I've really got to grips with it. Out the final corner for the final time this race, and we're going to just go for a celebratory wheelie across the line, and there we go. Not the best wheelie you'll ever see, but nonetheless a race win and a big 25 points for the World Riders Championship. But as you can see there, the final race results here for the Sachsenring, and I take the fast lap of the Grand Prix, and I beat most of my rivals in the process, including my teammate Miguel Oliveira there. So that's going to set us up nicely for the next race in BRNO. Right, here we are then at BRNO. From what I can see, it looks like a wet qualifying session. In Moto2, I dominated this circuit, especially in qualifying. So if Moto2 I have any sort of muscle memory from Moto3, it could be a very promising session. We could maybe double up and get our first back-to-back wins of the season. So let's try and go for qualifying and see if we can get pole position for the Czech Republic Grand Prix. Okay, so I definitely don't have the pace I did in Moto3. I'm 6 tenths down in the third sector. And there we go, across the line, 1.1 down. So this is going to be a bit more of a challenge than last season in Moto3, which I'm really relishing. So let's try and get a bit more out of this bike around this great circuit. Right, half second up in sector 3. One more sector to go, the final 2 corners here. I've completely got the penultimate one wrong, running in a bit too hot on the apex there, but we've got the final corner to negotiate. Using a third gear, going to keep a tighter line this time. Skirting on the power a little bit later than last lap. And here we go, then run it up to the line. Is it pole? Not quite, a tenth shy. So we're going to try and go one more time around here, but sectors 1 and 3 I've got definitely in my pocket. 2 and 4 could be a little bit better. Okay, this time not as great as up as last time. I'm 3 tenths up in the third sector, but it's been a much better final sector. Have I done it in the final sector this time? Yes, I have. And there we go. I've pulled it back in the remainder of the lap. The final sector this time, absolutely nailed it. And that is going to hopefully be pole position for BRNO. And with that, that's the end of the qualifying session. So now, let's jump into the final qualifying results. Right, there we have it then. Pole position for the Czech Republic Grand Prix here. And we've managed to come ahead of both of Kalec's bikes and also Thomas Luthi there with Oliveira down in P5. So he's going to have some work to do in the race to try and overturn the deficit in terms of pace and also make up some points in the Grand Prix. But overall, first place, the best position to be in. And let's try and convert this into a race win just like last time at the Saxon Ring.
Here at BRNO, everything is ready for the Czech Grand Prix now. This is one of the riders' favourite tracks, so we're guaranteed a spectacular race today.
Right, it's a wet race here, BRNO. No rain in the air, but it's wet tarmac, so we've got to be very careful here. 4 red lights, and it's going to be lights out, and away we go. Let's try and get a good start here. The bike's skating away from me ever so slightly there, just really trying to get the power down. I've muscled it all the way through, and I'm now in first place into the first corner here. Let's try and bring the bike down for the apex, just running a little bit hot into the second part and second phase of turn 1. Just getting the power on now, nice and early. Let's try and get a gap out. It's a sunny day here with a wet track with these good conditions here, and let's try now and set the pace up front. We've got a huge gap already to the guys behind, so let's try and really get the gap out today and try and make this a dominating one-sided race. Okay, at the end of lap 1 I've got a pretty substantial gap already to the guys behind, 2 seconds plus, so there you go. Really sent the pace here today, and those guys are battling really hard behind, so I'm really starting to get the gap out already here. Right, out the final corner now. That was the definition of a perfect lap, and that lap was even faster than my qualifying lap, so I am on one here. The conditions obviously better than qualifying, but I'm really on the pace here. 5.8 seconds to the nearest bike. I think this race is pretty much all over. Even faster still than last lap, only just though, still in the 2-minute 7s. And my pace this race, I've got to say, this reminds me of Assen, just how dominating and how quick I am on a Moto2 bike when all the things go right for me, and it's actually scary how fast I am. Even faster still, 2-minute 5. I'm trying to dip in underneath the 2-minute mark. I'm just having fun now, but the gap I have behind is absolutely huge. It must be like 15 seconds already, and it's just a really comfortable race for me here. And the track is almost bone dry. Like these wet tyres, I'm not sure how much they're going to work for, but the track is, I mean, literally dry on the racing line. So luckily everyone else is on wet tyres, but if this was like F1 right now, we'd definitely be on the dry tyres by now. So just goes to show different sports. I mean, look at that, the track's still wet in this sort of particular area, but great weather conditions here on MotoGP, and the race has been absolutely perfect so far. Last lap of the Grand Prix, let's just try and bring it home now. Okay, through the penultimate corner now for the final time this race. It's been an absolutely world-class 5-star performance here, absolutely dominating from start to end, absolutely incredible pace, and there we go, out the final corner, going to pop a wheelie across the line this time, a proper wheelie to win the race, and that is the second race win on the spin, and that's the first time I can say I've done that all season, and it just goes to show I'm on a massive podium streak right now, and you got to say I'm definitely in the running for the World Riders Championship, because if we look at the World Riders Championship now after the race results, you can see with the shock result of Xavi Verge getting a really impressive second place, that's going to boost him up a little bit, but I'm in second place now behind my teammate Oliveira, only 7 points behind, so I've really steered this championship around, and after a really poor start to the season, we are right back where we want to be, back on target, mixing it up for the World Riders Championship. And finally, looking at constructors, obviously KTM, the best team, looking up front, and 26 points clear of Kalec. So overall, a great episode here today. My first ever double back-to-back win. And if you guys have enjoyed the episode, then smash the like button. Let's see if we could try and maybe hit 100 likes on this video. That'd be absolutely fantastic. And also, if you're around here, why not subscribe to my channel for future content like this and other F1 content. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. And if you did, leave a big thumbs up. Also, if you haven't seen the videos on screen right now, then I do urge you to go check them out if you haven't done so already. But thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in my next video. Until next time, goodbye.